The Islanders are healthy again and are now on a 3-game winning streak. We'll tell you why and how they're getting it done and what it means for the team going forward. All that and more coming up on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast.
Your Locked On Islanders, your daily podcast on the New York Islanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Monday edition of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I know the New York Islanders did a win on Friday against the Winnipeg Jets, a win on Sunday against the Anaheim Ducks. Can't ask for too much more than that from your New York Islanders, and we'll break it all down for you, including some of the line changes, what has been working for the Islanders, and why they're on this 3-game win streak. Want to thank everybody for making Islanders your first listen every day. We are free and available forms. And today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. We have got a lot to discuss on today's show, but if you've got something Islanders related on your mind, if you have a question, a comment, a topic you'd like us to discuss on the show, send us an email. The email address, lockedonislanders@gmail.com. And if you leave your first name and where you're from, we're happy to mention you on the show when we discuss whatever it is that's on your mind. You could also follow the show on Twitter @LockedOnIsles, and you could follow me, Gil Martin, on Twitter @IceWars, NYRVSNYI. We'll keep you up to date on all the latest Islanders news, notes, and happenings, and I am live tweeting during nearly every Islanders home and road game. So I'll give you some instant insight and analysis, and I will happily talk to anyone, interact with anyone on Twitter during the game or really any time. So make sure you follow me there, and always great to hear from fans and listeners. So big weekend for the Islanders, and it all started Friday when Mathew, Barzal, and Zdeno Chara returned to the lineup. And, you know, what better way to start the weekend than that? And the beautiful thing is, especially in the case of Mathew Barzal, he didn't look like he was affected at all by missing the, 5-6 games that he missed, where, you know, his skating was unaffected. He was quick. He was able to turn well. It just didn't look like Barzy was having any difficulties moving and staying away from people and just getting to, change directions, all of the things that he needs to do to be Mathew Barzal, to do those things that, few other players in the league, and certainly no other players on the Islanders, can do the way Mathew Barzal does. He was doing them. The other thing that I loved about both of this weekend's games was the goaltending, because what we saw was solid goaltending from both Ilya Sorokin and Semyon Varlamov. Varlamov getting the job done on Friday, Sorokin getting the job done last night. And, again, in both games, was the goaltending perfect? No. Were there some moments where you were just like, oh, no, not again? Yeah. But overall, strong goaltending, big saves when you needed them, and that is the key. And then the other thing was this, and this was true both on Friday and on Sunday. The Islanders are kind of finding themselves, and that's huge because they're starting to put together, this is 3 straight wins, but importantly enough, they are starting to put together a streak where they are playing their style of hockey. And that's not something we've seen from this team with any kind of regularity. They play 1 good game, 2 good games maybe not even win both of those games, and then fall back into the, oh my gosh, where is this team that we saw play so well the last 2 years, especially in the playoffs? We don't see that team. And what are these guys doing? So overall, the team seems to be finding themselves. And that is such a good sign. And realistically, what does it mean? Well, again, both Friday and Sunday, the Islanders limiting the quality scoring chances of their opponent. And, especially on Sunday against the Ducks, Anaheim had 42 shots on goal. And on goal, that's, again, of those 42 were high quality chances. And the rest of them were from behind the face-off circles, back to the point. And when needed, Ilya came up. So, the Islanders system is not dated on holding teams to 18 shots on goal in a game. It's limiting the number of really good scoring chances. And that is something they did both on Friday against Winnipeg and on Sunday against Anaheim. And it was great to see that kind of improved team defense out there. And look, you also healthy again. And the Greens, I think that is better for the team over this season. A, because you want to win, and B, if you're going to trade either Zdeno, Chara, or Yashaks, and therefore it's better to have them in the lineup with the trade deadline exactly 1 week away than it is to say, oh yeah, these guys are seventh defensemen and they're not really in the lineup. You don't want. And then, Martin sitting out the Sunday game as healthy scratch, and Ross Johnston comes in. And, Ross Johnston not there, but he did what he was supposed to do. Did not really with what we saw. Now, when we come, so we'll talk about why the Islanders are being successful now. And, trade deadline still a week away. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. All that and more still to come on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Our next partner has a product I use literally every day. I started taking Athletic Greens because, I don't like taking a lot of pills and vitamins, and I wanted a supplement that actually tasted great. And I wanted to hear what all the hype was about because I heard so many good things about Athletic Greens. Well, what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. I mean, that covers pretty much all of the bases. And look, it's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, while still tasting good. And it supports better sleep quality, recovery, mental clarity, alertness. It's the one thing with the best things. Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science with constant product iterations and third-party testing. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day, and that's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. On Monday, March 21st at 3:30 Eastern Time, tune into Locked On Fantasy Hockey's live deadline reaction show to get all the on-ice fantasy and betting analysis you need from hosts Steele Roden and Flip Livingstone from our roster of local team experts. Plus, catch our own live show at 3 o'clock for our immediate reaction to the Islanders' move. So make sure you join us for that. So Barry Trotz changing up his lines for the Sunday game. And as we mentioned, Matt Martin sitting, Ross Johnston inserted. So the fourth line, Cizikas, Johnston, and Clutterbuck. The top line, Nelson, Lee, and Beauvillier, followed by Pajot, Bailey, and Palmieri, which worked extremely well. Barzal, Parise, and Wahlstrom, which also worked very well. Those are the four lines. And then you had Chara, Dobson, Pelech, Pulak, Green, and Mayfield on the blue line. And look, one of the other reasons that the Islanders are getting the job done, certain players who have struggled all year are suddenly, Anders Lee got another goal. He remains red hot, being the hat trick last Thursday. Josh Bailey added 2 assists on Sunday. Bales has been scoring and setting people up. All of a sudden, Josh Bailey looks like the Josh Bailey that we saw in the playoffs the last 2 years when he was one of the Islanders' more consistent players and really had great vision and was setting people up. Mathew, Barzal, unquestionably, with Parise and Walsh, does some chemistry there. And that was good to see, even if it meant less ice time for Barzy than maybe he is accustomed to. G. Pajot had another assist, as did Anthony Beauvillier. Beauvillier, who had been seemingly invisible for stretches of the season, coming up big and produce. Zach Parise, off to such a slow start, coming up big and starting to be, who had only one goal in his first 28 goals then. And all of a sudden, this team seems to be finding out throughout the season. Finally, this consistent. So it's out, you're Andy, and you see what you can get for them. Maybe you trade, not shock me, but would mildly surprise. Mayfield, to me, I want to hold on to him if at all. Mayfield. If I'm Lou Lamoriello, I sit back, I say, these guys, we're not looking to deal them. But if you make me an offer that I can't refuse, if you make me an offer like, okay, we'll give you our first round pick and a solid top 4 or, second pair, let's say, defensemen who can be plugged into your lineup right now and who you can keep in your lineup for the next couple of years. I mean, it's almost like Lou Lamoriello would have to say yes to something like that. With Varlamov, again, you don't want to lose him, but hey, if they make you an offer that's too good to pass up and you get the cap space and you still have Sorokin and you maybe get a serviceable backup goalie in return, maybe you do a deal like that. But you don't need to blow this team up because all of a sudden your Baileys and your Beauvilliers and your Nelsons and your Parises and your Palmieris, all of a sudden these guys are finding themselves and playing the way we hoped that they would play when the season started. And it has been great to see what this team is still capable of and that they need to continue to do that. Now, again, you have a grand total of now before the trade deadline in Washington, Thursday at Madison Square Garden against the Rangers, Saturday against the Dallas Stars back at the UBS Arena, and Sunday, the short road trip to Philadelphia. You got 4 games between now and the trade deadline. Even with this winning streak, the Islanders are 7 points behind Columbus for 5th place in the division. Yeah, okay. 4 games in hand. You got to win 3, and overtime or shootout loss the other to make up. And that's just for 5th place with Columbus. You still got to catch Boston or Washington, and it is just not going to happen this year. But maybe these next 4 games, if you continue to play well, tells Lou Lamoriello, and I think Lou has already been leaning this way, according to the quotes we've seen, you need to blow this team up. You just need to tweak it a little bit. We'll deal the players who are on expiring contracts if we get a good return for them. And then we tweak and we come back even better next year with the core of this team looking like it's more than capable. By the way, with this win, the Islanders now at NHL 500, 24-8, 56 points through 56 games. Come back, we've got our Islanders birthday of the day and some interesting thoughts about where we go from here. And for our Islanders birthday of the day, by the way, a player, a forward who was briefly an Islander, but made some pretty interesting contributions while he was here. We'll talk about that and more coming up on Friends at Bet Online. It's that time of year again as college basketball's tournament is finally upon us. From all the latest odds, content, and player props, betonline.net is the #1 source for all your sports betting needs and info. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news. The line is your continued source for all your sports wagering information needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. Bet Online, where the game starts. Today's episode is also brought to you by Built Bar. Built Bar is the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. Have you tried the Puffs? If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting bars. Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy. They're marshmallowy. They're not just a protein bar. They're a treat. And like all Built bars, they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Puffs are a fan favorite. Listen to these incredible flavors. Yummy, cinnamony, churro, coconut marshmallow. I love the banana cream pie. They're all so good. They are going to be your new favorite. And look, most Built bars contain just 130 calories, only 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, but pack 17 grams of protein. Compare that to a candy bar, which usually has around 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens of net carbs. At Built Bar, they're all about the taste. They make it taste delicious first, then figure out how to make it healthy. And I don't know how, but they pull it off every time. Go to Built.com, use promo code LOCK15 and get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at Built.com. Time now for our Islanders birthday of the day. And we want to wish a very happy 52nd birthday. We're a day on Paul Crandy. The 96-97 season when he was acquired by the Islanders in a midseason trade. Spent 96-97 and 97-98 with the Islanders. Most of those 2 seasons. Buffalo, lately for San Jose before his hockey career over in Europe, in England, and in Austria. He played in 423 NHL games, 38 goals, 71 points, 1,074 penalty minutes. Add 28 playoff games, although none with the Islanders, 5 goals, 7 points there. Cruz, 6 feet tall, 202 pounds, more of a defensive kind of a forward, never really scored a lot of goals at the NHL. Always got back, was physical, often went over 100 penalty minutes during his career, including 111 in 48 games with the Isles in 96-97 and 138 in 62 games with the Islanders in 97-98. We're going to remember one of his better games with the Isles. We take it back to February 7th, 1998 at the old Igloo. Islanders and Penguins facing off. Tommy Salo, the Islanders netminder, against Tom Barrasso in between the pipes for the Pens. And in the first period, Pittsburgh getting the only goal of the opening stanza. Dan Plant off for holding the stick, and Jaromir Jagr cashes in on the power play. His 23rd from Ron Francis and Stu Barnes, and it's 1-0 Pittsburgh after 1. But our Islanders' birthday of the day, Paul Cruz, ties it at 1. His 5th from Robert Reichel and Brian Smolinski at 7:52 of the second, and it's a 1-1 game. Then the Islanders' power play gets into gear. Ex-Islander Darius Kasparaitis off for holding, and Ziggy Palffy cashes in his 28th. Rob Reichel and Brian Berard with the assist at 12:06. A minute and a half later, exactly, our Islanders' birthday of the day, Paul Cruz gets his 2nd goal of the game. It's unassisted. His 6th of the year, 13:36. The Islanders fans know that. Off for holding. Stu Barnes of Pittsburgh scores his 21st. Jagr and Ron Francis with the assist. At the end of 40 minutes of hockey, the Islanders clinging to a 3-2 lead. In the third, though, the Islanders clinch it. Brian Smolinski, his 10th. Brian Berard and Dan Plant with the assist at 8:17. Islanders skate away with a 4-2 win, 28 saves for Tommy Salo. But for Paul Cruz, our Islanders' birthday of the day, 2 goals. He was a +3. He had 4 penalty minutes, scored on both of his shots on goals, and he had the game winner. Paul Cruz is our Islanders' birthday of the day. We wish him a very happy 50. Happen tomorrow on Tuesday. day. But we wish him all the best. All right, Islanders, interesting point in the season now. To me, even the playoffs are almost impossible. And they're not going to happen. You play the best hockey you can, and you recover the confidence and the may not make playoffs, but get us closer. That's got to be the mantra for the Islanders for the rest of the season. We will be back tomorrow to preview the Islanders' upcoming game on Tuesday night. So definitely make sure you join us for that. We'll have that game is in Washington, so always so be great to get 2 points in that one and extend the winning streak. Thanks for making Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On Fantasy Hockey. Host Steele Roden and Livingstone help you become the expert of your fantasy league. It's free and available wherever you get podcasts. That does it for this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. And of course, let's go Islanders.